Hello, Libra. It's about to get real. That's kind of what we're reading on. So let's take a look at what the cards are for you. There's this different set that I'm using. So the information for those is down below. Let's take a look. The underside of the deck. Shadow. Power. 18 and 8. Prosperity begins. All right. Interesting. Well, and I like the prosperity because it's bearing fruit. It's growing something. And if, as you can see at the very bottom is this little peach pit. So yeah, you never know what seeds will sprout and grow something amazing. Okay, so we're going to start with the shadow, clarifying the shadow card. There's a lot of things that are going to be coming up in the collective. We are on a higher timeline. Remember that. So don't freak out. Just don't live in fear. All right, the bottom of the deck. Judgment. So this reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. So you're at a crossroads. It's a very interesting energy being at a crossroads. Choices. So underneath shadow, get a good look. Shadow. Ace of Cups. To me, this seems like the energy of such a beautiful beginning, that emotional start, that intuition, that heart space. Seven of Wands. This would be John Henry in this story. So you can see him working. And with him, I just feel like this working and working and working and working. And unlike most Seven of Wands, where you feel like there's more of a energy of protection, right here, up here, you feel this power that he has and the power that's radiating out. So I think really, Libra, that sense of being able to protect and defend oneself, which is good because you have that shadow side. The Magician, Gemini. This is a fairy godmother in Cinderella. So this is very much able to manifest anything. What is it that you wish? I'll get working on it right away. Right? So when you have this much power and you have this thought, so the shadow side really isn't showing out that much of a shadow side. It's like there's two sides to the same person, but I don't get that negativity from it. Now we have power. Let's see what it has to say about power. Strength. So I would say you have two Leos going on here. Leo and Leo, right? That it could also be a timing card for Lionsgate. 8/8. So that's August time frame. So keep that in mind, Libra. Keep that in mind. So Six of Wands. Recognition. Reward. And this is underneath strength. So this is someone, they had to go to battle for what they wanted, right? And in a sense, I don't, or compete. I think compete is the better word. Because I think that's more on the scale of what we're thinking, is that there's a lot of things out there, and there's a lot of other people that have different skills, but you with your skills were able to get that recognition. And you have these two Leo signifying cards in there. So I'm wondering, Queen of Wands. I really like this. I really feel like you being fair and balanced. And don't forget, Judgment is also your card, right? So you have the Queen of Wands and the Strength, Six of Wands. Yeah, I think if you just keep going, keep with it, right? Um, Feels like very strong cards for you as far as, what you're moving into. Again, I think there's something going on with Lionsgate, but for right now, it feels like everything is pretty good for you right now. And then you have Prosperity Begins. So it's the number one card. This is Knight of Swords. This is someone who is going to get there in a hurry, right? And look at all the bells and whistles and, all of this energy of such a decorative, to me, that's still that same energy of being recognized, right? And, quick moving energy. So, so much air in this card too, as well, as you can see that. But I really think that is a lot of what's going on, is that um, very much a sense of prosperity here. And let's see if we have anything else coming up. Queen of Cups, intuition. Let your intuition lead you, I believe. So I think a lot of times the information out there is not always going to be easy to discern as far as what is the truth or not, but you're going to have to trust your intuition. And is what you're watching on the news really worth your time watching? That's a form of discernment as well. I'm like, oh, okay, not the weather, not interested. What is going on right now around you? I think that's what you need to be more aware of, right? Death. And that is very much about Pluto energy. And there have been a lot of things changing for you, because Libra has just really gotten beaten up by that South Node. There's been a lot of changes, things leaving your life, but it makes room for better things to come in, right? You may be at a crossroads. And I think that's one of the things that you're going to have to be watchful of, is that, everything is going great and it can still continue to be great, but you have, what is coming up? You're about fairness and justice, right? So what is coming up that is going to need to leave? Something has to go before something else can come in. And it's always, you're moving up that spiral, right? So it'll be interesting to see. I do want to clarify a little bit this death card for you. Can I get some clarification on the death card, please? I guess you want to be the clarification. Okay. Here's the Five of Coins, right? Being left out in the cold. Again, I've gotten the feeling that this is the little matchbox girl, but it's whatever hierarchy there is, whether it's the church or whether it's government or whether it's big business. I'm feeling a lot big business. I don't think that's what's going to be. I think that's what's going to change, honestly. I think that's what's going to change, right? Because then what comes in? Justice. Who's taking care of her? Justice. One more from the top here. Page of Cups. I feel like that he's there to help the little matchbox girl, right? love and joy and helpfulness and, you know, um, but yes, justice. So it's interesting. I think because that's a Libra card, because judgment is actually more Scorpio card. But I really think that it seems like everything's going great. And then boom. So that's interesting. The world, an ending and then a new beginning. So this jumped out. So things are going to end. I mean, I think that's saying that the big corporations and things like that are going to have a big change. Pluto is going to be going back into Capricorn. Big change is coming. Right about that time, Mars will start the beginning of its shadow for its retrograde while everything else is going on. So it's going to be a mess. It's going to be interesting. May you live in interesting times, right? So we want, for the love of dragons, oops. We want to have a card volunteer for you for the love of dragons, right? They always insist on coming out on their own because that's just how they roll. So the Grouch. And number 5, change. Yeah, it was weird because all through your reading, oh, goodness and light and love and happiness, and then death. So attention. The Grouch. Dragons have fierce teeth for a reason. Use them to guard your boundaries and protect your space. Snarl. Growl. You're allowed to be feisty and fierce when protecting your boundaries and personal sovereignty. There's time and space for compromise and cooperation. Now is not the time. Huff, puff. Flex those scales. No one messes with you today. You get to decide when and how you wish to engage. This is perfectly about what's been going on with Libra. You get to decide your own sovereignty. No one gets to tell you what to do. That's why you're having all these changes in relationships. For any planet that's been in Libra, the South Node has been there, and that is about releasing what doesn't serve you anymore, meaning no more people pleasing, equal exchange of energy, change. So I hope that you enjoy right now and that you get a chance to explore your intuition and what's going on out there. I'll see you soon.